Yo, what's up, Foot Clan? Welcome to the dojo here. If you are new here, and you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and hit that ding bell for future content. All right, let's dive on in. All right, ready?
Sure.
All right, what you got for me, Will?
Alright, so as you saw in one of the recent videos a few weeks ago, I played against Dogmatica Invoked, or whatever the hell Kamal was playing. And I was playing my take on Orcust because I can't play anything else because I suck at this game. So we have 3-axis Orcust, which will all make sense, and the combo scenarios are a bit different, and you have to base it off of your hand. But if you start with some of the cards in there, it's a pretty straightforward line of play. So we're going to start with the monsters, and then it's going to get separated into, like, engines, basically. So start the BA engine. We got 3 Tour Guide. Obviously, that card equals full combo, one of your best starters. The only 3 good BAs you need to play, this one kind of sucks, but it happens because we draw this card like it's our job, being Grafseer and Livic. Those are part of the combo for 3Xs. We have our Phantom Knight engine, which is 2 Torn Scales,
This man got Starlights.
1 Boots, 1 Cloak, 1 of this trash can ass card that comes up occasionally. This card honestly can be cut, but it comes up in certain situations, which will all make sense. I forgot to preface this. This deck is not optimized by any means. Feel free to edit it as you like. I just play it because I'm too lazy to change my deck. And then we got the PK Spell Traps, which is 1 rank up because we do play Calamities, because that card's fair. The Shade, and the 2 Fog Blade. That's pretty standard. Then we have other level 3 extenders. We have 2 Junk Forwards, 2 Wheel Eaters. Obviously, if you go Tour Guide and they ask your Tour Guide, you're going to need a way to get into Cherubini. So these are some of your main pieces to do so beforehand. Obviously, you summoned that before, but always helps to have more extenders than less. Then for the Orcust cards, 1 Brass, which is okay. 1 Skeleton, which is pretty good. 2 Gearsu, which is a great normal summon because if they ash this instead of Imperm, then you still get your token. Imperm's kind of falling out of the meta right now because of Drytron and other decks. So this card is actually a bit more playable. 2 Nightmare, because this is the important thing to get your recycling going. And the 1 Wand, very standard ratio for a bigger deck. This is 60 cards, kind of like a pile. And obviously we got the 1 Gizmic, but this card's love-hate for me. I recommend not playing this.
Wait, hey Josh,
Or
how do you feel about Gizmic?
It's ass when it's ass. And then other times it helps you OTK. That's about it.
right. But so for me, is if I ever find myself needing to use this as my extender because my hand is so terrible, I banish cards like Red Eyes Fusion, one of the pieces for Red Eyes Fusion, the Wand or the Skeleton. So it's like love-hate for me. I try not to use this card unless I absolutely have to, but it definitely helps kill your opponent faster. Then we have the Orcust Spell Traps, very standard. 1 Babble, 1 Return. Honestly, I'm going to end up probably cutting Return and other cards to play 3 Allures because we play Dark Hand Traps now, which is the only difference from when you saw the video until now, because the ban list happened and then Drytron got released, and those are your 2 biggest things. And then we got our 1 Crusader.
I will kick somebody off the roof. I ain't playing.
And then the Warriors and other cards, we got our Dark Grapher, Armageddon, obviously those are standard. And then we were playing 5 Equips, which you are ultimately going to see at least 1 in your hand. So if you see 2, you're in an even weirder spot. But with these Equips, the only one you really don't mind, that you don't want to draw in your opening hand is this one. Because since we're playing 3-axis, example, you summon Tour Guide, they ash it. If you open this, you can reborn their hand trap at the cost of some life points and then still do your Cherubini combo, so it's kind of cool. This one's just another extender. Obviously, that one's good. And then this card actually came up in the video, I believe. I summoned Torn Scales and used it, and before using its effect, because I knew he set punishment, I activated this on the Torn Scales and attempted to pop the card first before doing any other plays and getting rid of resources that I didn't need to. So it comes up occasionally, but this is the worst one. You can probably swap this one.
I think I bricked that game too.
Vex. And then we got Dangers, 1 Nessie, Snake, Jack, Moth. This one sucks. I'll probably replace it with something else because I'll find times when my opponent bricks, they'll snipe this, and then their hand gets better, which I hate. But yeah, I want to play more Dangers. Too bad these ones are limited. Then we got Hand Traps, which, like I said, changed. The 3 DD Crow, very good right now. Hits cards in the Eldritch deck that are important. Hits cards in Drytron, but it's not as impactful, but it can be depending on what they've drawn. And it really just helps speed things along. And then we got 3 Skullmeister. Again, good for decks like that. Drytron's by far the weakest matchup against this deck. If you lose the die roll, you have to open super specific in order to have a chance to their board. And if they have ultimateness and an even hand, you might as well just go to the next game because there's no chance outing it. Even's too free. I feel like it should be banned because limiting it, they basically only play one. So, I mean, it is what it is. And we got 3 Ash because this card hits so much of the card pool and is super strong currently just for draw cards and things like that. Yeah. Oh, actually, there's more.
That's actually right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 11.
You should play 12. Actually, you should play 15.
Probably.
Yeah, then you'd see one every game.
60 card deck.
Yeah, it's 60 cards.
What's it called? 18 hand traps. 15 is 21 something percent chance of opening one.
I mean, honestly, it's to the point where I kind of want to main roll just for the fact that if I don't see these cards, I auto lose basically. I also play 2 Nib. This card's falling out of the meta, which makes this deck even better because Nib is your worst enemy, unless they do it at the wrong point. But I play this because it's like your win against rogue decks that you might see at events or whatever. You know, someone could be playing at like table 500 and this just auto beats them because they don't have anything to play around.
This is like the fairest combo deck.
Right.
Did you ever think about, if you had droplets, would you play it?
Yes, so I ordered droplets. Droplets is definitely going in the main deck for sure. Imperm's not really that great of a card right now, so that's why it's not here in the main war side. Because Drytron doesn't do anything a whole lot on the field, and other decks don't. And then we play this in the main deck. So before we were playing Buster, but then the ban list happened, obviously, so that card's gone. So now we play this one, because if you actually get to the point where you can set up Carrier, you do this, and this locks their graveyard out, so they can't do any of the Ben 10 searching and the recurl from the graveyard, which is really nice. Then we play our favorite bricks. These vanillas always end up in your hand. It's the best thing ever when you draw into your Red Eyes and Dark Magician. You're just like, huh, so I'm playing with 4 cards. The Fusion to go with it, and then... Oh yeah, the Phoenix Blade's in there too. And then we have our 4 generics, 1-ups, which is Reinforcements, Monster Reborn, Duster, and Foolish Brave. Obviously those are all good cards for this deck. I probably want to start main decking more back row removal because of the trap decks getting more played in this format.
Right.
We'll just have to wait and see. And so, for the extra deck, it looks a little wonk. We have our 1 Link Revo for our Gear Suit token, and Brass, actually, if you end up in a situation where you have to normal summon it and need it off the board. We have our 1 Cherubini, very important card, obviously, to hold that point is 3 access, so this starts everything. Your 1 Sold, which is hit or miss, but it's obviously a broken card. Your Carrier, self-explanatory, like I said, equip the Orcust card you didn't have if you bricked, or equip your Buster. Anaconda, great card, summons Dragoon wins games. Orcust cards, you got our 2 Galatea, our 1 Long Gear Sue, and our 2 Ding. Obviously, if you're better at resource management than I am, you can probably cut this down to, if you take out a Galatea and a Long Gear Sue and a Ding, honestly, you can probably shove in cards like Nightmare and more generic stuff. We have our Rusty Bardiche, self-explanatory, great card. Our access code, which wins us more games. In the video, I think I had Boroswar, but it's meant to be access code. I finally went out and bought one. Our Appaloosa, which is part of the combo sequence that I'll demonstrate probably this video. You can put this up to stop your opponent from debuting you if they have it before they decide to use it, because it looks like you may not have anything going for you, but then you summon it and like, oh crap, so I'm chalked. Your Calamities, because that card's fair and balanced, and your Dragoon. And now side deck is just, it is whatever. I don't like my side deck. It'll change as I get better cards. But I mean, for this format, obviously, Droll's great. Lancia stops deck like Eldritch, stops my deck even. And also, you can side it in if you know your opponent's playing. If your opponent's playing evenly matched, because you Lancia them when they try to evenly match you, so your board stays. 2 Kaijus. Honestly, I like these better than the Birus, but it's better when you're siding them in because cards like Zeus are really annoying to deal with. So you can just drop this, and it's a dark, so when I put a Lures in and such, it won't be a dead card in my hand if I go first. 2 Dark Rulers, I'm going to probably end up cutting this card. It's just here for lulz at this point. Twin Twister, I like having discard outlets over Cyclone. People aren't playing Orcust, so Ding Protect isn't really a thing. The Reboot, because this card is fair. Fair, we'll go with that. And then
fair for back row.
Yeah,
necessary.
Reboot to 3. These would be,
there we go. Necessary.
Right, necessary. Right. Reboot should come to 3 because this card did nothing wrong in the first place. These are going to get cut, and these are probably going to be evenly matches now that I got these. But these are here, I guess.
So my idea is, what like if you open well, what cards do you need? So do you need a Gritsu and an extender, or do you need a PK? Like, what's your
Gearsu alone is rusty with Fog Blades if you want it to be.
Can you go over like a couple 1 or 2 card combos?
Yeah, I was going to.
Because like if you open uninterrupted, what's like your end
Right.
board?
Okay. So you're starting your end board ideally uninterrupted. In a perfect world is you will have you'll have Rusty up here. I'm gonna do like this. It's weird. You'll have Rusty, Dragoon in the Anima Zone, Appaloosa over here so it can't get taken with 2 counters on it, and your Anaconda with Ding and Grave and your Quick Launch and a Fog Blade.
Okay.
Ideally. So you can use Quick Launch to get your calamities.
You mean your
Rank up magic. Isn't it called Quick Launch?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Yeah, you're gonna have Quick Launch, Fog Blade, and Babble. That's in a perfect world if there's no hand traps or if they don't Nibiru you at the right points. But I can go over what a one. It's like there's one card. It's like 1.5 card combos is what I'd say for the deck.
so the Fair's combo deck,
Facts.
right, Josh?
You say Dratron? Fair. Super fair.
Be quiet.
Did you say Dino fair combo
The
deck?
Fair's combo
Do
deck.
your deck use the Emperor? I heard
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Lie again.
right,
Shit.
I heard Dratron.
So I'm gonna
Man, you
pull out the.
import my override. I'm like, oh, you right. Pass my turn.
We're gonna pull out the starters.
Gotta have it.
So these are your best starters that you can make combo, not full combo. You can't do this combo with just this, but you can do these with no extenders. Basically, this is the 1.5 card combo. This is a 1 card combo. It's not the end of the world. Ideally, you're trying to use Cloak, your BA monsters, and Torn Scales in tandem to make sure you get the maximum use out of your resources. And a combo sequence, basically. So let's just say, for example, we got our tour guide, right? We are gonna go. You summon tour guide, use the effect, summon your graph. Obviously, this is pretty standard if you've been playing BA. I had never played BA, so I had to learn how to read these cards. You make your Cherubini. Cherubini pointing downwards, obviously. So this way. Graph effect will summon Seer. You'll link the. You'll use Beanie's effect to send one of your PK cards that's already not there, or if you open really good and have all your PK cards in your hand that are already in the graveyard, you can send Skeleton. I mean, it doesn't. You typically are not trying to do that, so you'll send your Cloak. And if you open Torn Scales, then you're gonna want to send the BA monster honestly off of this instead of doing it this way. So then you'll do that. You link these. Make your Rusty. Seer's gonna bring back your Cherubini.
For father.
Right.
Right. Okay.
And basically, so at this point, you're at 5 summons, or maybe even over. If they Nibiru you here,
It doesn't matter.
it's technically wrong. It's
Right.
technically wrong. But you want to do it. The correct point to Nibiru is I'll show you. So you're gonna use Rusty's effect, and this is where you dump your scales, and you set your Quick Launch, or whichever card you didn't open, because I always find myself opening Shade or Quick Launch, or just any of the cards, really. So we'll set our Quick Launch. You're going to want to use Cloak's effect to add yourself, your boots. The resolution of this will happen where you get to summon your Scales from the graveyard since you banished a PK card, so you summon that. Then you can, if you have another card in your hand, obviously you discard to send something else, but if I do, I send the bricky one out of your deck because you don't need it unless you open pretty terribly. So let me summon your boots from your hand because we control Phantom Knights, and you're going to want to link these two away. That's my main deck. Huh? You're going to want to link these two away into a Sold. Sold will add you a warrior. I either add a follow-up for next turn being Greffer or a Junk Forward just because I know I'm going to use it as pitch fodder at some point during this turn. For the sake, we'll just say Greffer. And then right here is where you're going to want to nib, period, because I have just a Boots Engrave
No follow-up.
and no follow-up.
Right.
If you let me resolve the Assault effect, I get to start doing the Orcust plays, which is the best part. So we're going to use the Assault, send our terrible bricks to our graveyard. Want to keep the DDR in your deck as much as possible because that card's never dead in this deck because your Orcust are always banished. Here.
You gotta distract him. It's one of the tank hands right there.
And you're going to want to summon your Armageddon Knight, whichever card you want to
And
pitch.
then from there, you just do Orcust shenanigans. Right.
Yeah, so you send your Nightmare, you make Appaloosa here, and I'm just going to go through it. I'm already this far, might as well. Send your Nightmare, obviously. Hopefully you want to have a Skeleton engrave at this point, but if not, you just shotgun the Nightmare and stand by phase to send it. Make your Apollo for 2 before you get locked into darks. And right here is where if you had like a couple extenders in your hand, you could make the carrier before you get locked into dark so you can end with the buster. But for game 1, you're typically not doing that because you're just trying to make calamities and win. So then you'll Nightmare, targeting the Appaloosa to give it an extra 800, which actually helps because that's technically another negate since it doesn't gain counters. You'll send the Wand will summon the Nightmare.
Right, normal Orcust.
Normal Orcust shenanigans basically where you're just going Galatea, set Babel, make the gear suit. So I'm gonna speed through it. Got your Galatea. You're gonna Galatea effect for the Wand. Set your Babel, activate your Babel.
That's the one secret I actually hate.
Yamasu.
Really?
The Super's 22.
Ding will attach. Your
It's one.
there's nothing to attach. Never mind. You're not gonna activate Ding's effect.
20.
What the fuck's wrong with these people?
Somebody buys this one at 10, it's $20.
And then at this point,
And all the other ones are
you could have. So for me, I actually messed up this combo. But besides the point, if you summon Ding here and there's nothing to attach, just use Rusty effects, pop Ding, or anything, protect Ding. So this way you don't have to shotgun the Nightmare anyways. You already have this whole setup. But ideally, you're gonna want to have the extender. You're gonna make your Condor right here, make Dragoon, and then Nightmare effect. All pretty straightforward.
Right.
Instead of linking one of these off of the boots, should have just gotten Shade. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but you know. And that's pretty much it.
Did you? So you asked us.
Like organized. That's why I was. I just didn't.
So would you do this? Like, why not play the scrap engine? I guess that's a good question.
The scrap engine is cool. I feel like while this deck has more bricks in it, the scrap engine is just kind of meh. Because I feel like the starters and extenders in this deck give you more versatility. Because, you know, if Scrap Recycler gets ashed and you don't open extenders, then it's like, oh well. This also allows you to play the Warrior engine a little more consistently. Ideally, I think the best way to play Orcust is using Chaos cards and the Dragon. Chaos Dragon is actually really broken. You know, you mill your Orcust, add a hand trap. That's
Which we've seen Josh do.
right, pretty standard. You've seen other people do
Right,
those
we've seen
videos.
Josh just rip through fields.
Right, so yeah, that's basically it. I mean, otherwise, Orcust is always going to be the fairest combo deck until we see a Harp come back or something of that nature. The Scrap Dinosaur obviously is pretty cool, but I feel like
You say Drawtron?
no. But I feel like once that card comes out, this deck might not be alive. I feel like Galatea is going to end up on the hit list at some point.
Galatea should be
Recycler,
banned.
Anything like that. I don't play Needle Fiber. Don't like Needle Fiber. I don't think it's that good. They keep hitting all the right tuners and plagues, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Don't do that, dark skin, Jordan. Don't do that.
The deck definitely needs optimizing, but for what it is, it's pretty good. If people don't know what you're playing, because you're not going to see an Orcust card ideally until you're already done comboing, unless you discard it. But overall, pretty solid. It breaks a lot. Like
How many times have you play like what?
60 cards.
So you play like 10 breaks?
Basically, it's like 10 to 15 bricks, which is obviously terrible. But
It's terrible. Jesse Cotton would be disappointed.
just make sure you power shuffle your deck after every game and after you side, because otherwise you're gonna end up looking like me, where I drew 2 equips, my Dark Magician, and then Babel, and then no starters. So you just look like a fool.
A real fool.
Setting 1 and passing. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, thanks, Will.